and the success or failure of these two movies in particular could indicate a huge change coming.
You know, if I had kids and they were like, Daddy, I want to go see Fantastic Four First Steps, I'd be like, babe, we got Fantastic Four at home. And, you know, be that good old 2005. You know, that shit hits like crack. So with Superman and the Fantastic Four coming out this month, obviously there's a lot of pressure from both Marvel and DC for these films to do really well in order to continue their separate universes and their franchises and everything. And Jay Stoops here, who's a great TikToker, by the way, and look, even follower, how amazing am I, has done a video just talking about how important these movies are and that they are like the catalyst for what comes next, basically. I haven't watched all this video, I've just seen the first like 5 seconds, but I just thought let's react to it and talk about what she has to say.
I think we're at a massive crossroads at this moment in time in the modern cinema landscape. And I think that the way audiences are engaging with movie theaters and movies in general has changed so much over the past 10 years. And the success or failure of these two movies in particular could indicate a huge change coming.
She's completely right. She is. But what I like about these two movies is that they feel really different from what's come before. Superman feels like a really hopeful, action-packed, emotional film done by a director who gets character, who gets spectacle. And Fantastic Four is completely outside of the MCU, but obviously staying within the boundaries of like what it's supposed to be, comedy, action, and that. But the new setting and everything is amazing. And this isn't really a spoiler, it's just a theory, but obviously at the end of Thunderbolts, in the post-credit scene, we saw the Fantastic Four craft coming into the atmosphere of 616, Earth 616. And I think that's an element of the Fantastic Four I'm going to miss, is just from the trailers and everything, is this world they're currently living in. I'm sure there's more to the plot than I anticipate and everything, but yeah, these two movies feel really different, and I think audiences are going to say out loud, especially general audiences, are going to be like, this one was good. No, this one was good. This one was bad. It's going to be so straight cut, and that's what they're going to want to hit the mark on. And I think that's why we haven't heard much news about DC Studios and what comes next and everything for a while. Because I think they're waiting to see what the response is to Superman and the Fantastic Four. So yeah, we'll see.
It seems to me that audience...
Daniel, hey man, how you doing? I say Superman is going to be the best, but I have a feeling that Fantastic Four might have better meaning. Ooh, that kind of rhymed. Hey, Daniel's Dr. Zeus, man. We got Dr. Zeus in the house. Cheers for that, Daniel. Yeah, I mean, it's a weird one because I feel like, you know, Fantastic Four slightly has the upper hand because it comes out last. It comes out after Superman. So, you know, we'll go and see Superman. Let's say it's really great and everything, and we're all blown away by it. And we're like, yeah, that's really good. That was really, you know, that was really good. But then we see Fantastic Four, and we see stuff in that we really like that we didn't see in Superman. And then you go, do you know what? You know, Superman should have done this. So you should, you know what? Superman should have stretched his arms around Lois Lane. You know, like all that sort of stuff. So, you know, Fantastic Four, you know, has the upper hand. But in terms of how the world is going at the moment, in terms of affording to go to a cinema, is really hard. So Superman has the upper hand in that way because kids will be like, I want to see Superman, you know. And then they can't go see Fantastic Four that month because payday hasn't arrived since paying for Superman. So it's so many variables. But we don't know anything until this month has passed. These films have been out, and we'll see the reaction.
Have lost just so much interest in the MCU specifically, but the superhero genre in general as a whole as well. I feel like the performance of Thunderbolts at the box office, despite getting generally like some of the most positive reviews that Marvel has gotten in years, and have like some A-list stars. Florence Pugh is at like a career high right now, and still it's one of the lowest performing MCU films out of any of them.
Which is insane because it's a really good film. I remember the first half I was a bit like, I'm not liking this because the pace is a bit rubbish and everything. But then that second and third act, oh my god, it picks up like anything. As soon as Bob comes into it, I feel like, when they're out of a prison and that's when I feel like the movie started, and I really enjoyed Thunderbolts. And word of mouth was going around, like people at my work and that was saying, God, have you seen Thunderbolts? I was like, it's really good. And they were like, really? Like, that's a shocking reaction. 10 years ago, you wouldn't go, really, about an MCU movie. You'd be like, yeah, of course I've got to go see the MCU movie. I need to know who that big fucking purple guy is. Like, it's so different now. It's just after Endgame, everything's just, oh, God, and another thing. Oh, please, it's like force feeding. It really is. And I think Marvel know that. I do. And I think DC obviously knows that with Gunn at the helm. So, yeah.
I also think that we're seeing trends with audiences where audiences are just going to theaters less. And I feel like what we genuinely see people turning up for is cultural phenomenon that it's required viewing to be a part of the cultural conversation. I feel
so true. I completely agree with her on that. It's so true.
I feel like people really are only motivated to engage with something, particularly something in a movie theater, if it means that they're going to be part of the cultural conversation.
It's kind of like Oppenheimer. Like, everyone knew Oppenheimer was going to be a really important film, and because it's Nolan, I felt like everyone that went to see it like took that shit seriously. Like, they were like, there was not a rustle of popcorn, there was not a slurp of drink during Oppenheimer, because everyone was invested and they couldn't wait. And obviously Barbenheimer was happening, and Barbie, and even going to see Barbie. Like, the thing with Barbie though, for me, and the more I thought about it, it's definitely a film for me. It's a great film about progression and feminism overall and everything. But the thing is, I feel like kids these days were falsely advertised the movie. They thought they were going to see a Barbie film, and it turned into this really real, three-dimensional hit in the heartstrings film, which I think some kids can't contemplate right now. So in that aspect, that screening was a bit like, the kids were just like, what the fuck is going on? And I'm behind a little girl going at the end of the film. So it's a weird one.
I think that something similar is happening around like Love Island right now. Like, the reason why so many people watch is because everyone is watching, and in order to be engaged in like the conversations with people around you, you have to be a part of that. You have to participate. And
God, she's on the money, man. She's on the money. I've never thought of it like that. God damn it. She's good. It's so true. Like, it's like TV shows. That's so much easier, those streaming shows. People are like, oh, have you seen Beef? Oh, Beef. Oh, my God, like, Beef is so good. And then you're like, I gotta go watch it. And, you don't watch it. And they still go on about it. And then they start talking spoilers, because then at that point you're like, I don't mind, I probably won't watch it, but tell me about it. And they're really excited about it and passionate about it, but I haven't seen it. And but there are times where people are like, you have to watch this show. One of them, Squid Game. I've still not seen it, because I heard there was going to be a final season of this version of Squid Game anyway, and I'm just like, I'll wait till it all comes out. And I did, and I still haven't rushed back to go and watch the first season. Skeleton Crew is another example. I was like, I'll just wait till the episodes come out. Really loved the first 2 episodes. Fell off because I forgot. But those conversations have happened. They're on the past now. Whereas, Superman and Fantastic Four, if they get really good word of mouth and really good press and everything, like, people are going to go to the cinema, man. They're going to go and watch these films. They're going to take their kids, they're going to take their family members and their friends. They're going to go and watch these films. But who's the winner? It is a who's the winner. It really is. I think Marvel's in a bit of a sticky situation because obviously of everything that's come before, whereas DC, and you've got a new face for Superman, it's a bit easier to go, oh, it's a complete reset and everything. But some people, we know who, are a bit more like, oh, Steinerver, all that shit that I don't want to get into. But real life people who have jobs and family members and friends they love, just would be like, why do they keep rebooting it? My dad is a lot like this. He's like, why do they keep rebooting shit? And, you know, I explain, like, reset and everything, and they got to change up the storyline. It's got to be a different world. It's got to fit the director's vision. And he's like, oh, let's bring back Christopher Reeve. Dad, he's dead. He died on my birthday in 2004. Do you not remember? But yeah.
It seems like, for the most part, the cultural conversation around the MCU has kind of died. Like, people are just not interested. Even people who enjoy the media, it's not something that's talked about. It's not something that's discussed. And obviously, DC has not really been a part of that cultural conversation for a long time. You have outliers like the Batman that do really, really well, but aren't really associated with anything larger than themselves.
And the Joker. But Joker Folia do fucked that. It messed it up. It messed up DC. I really think Folia do. But remember, it's not a DC film, guys. It's a Warner Brothers film.
Themselves. And this is the first in what is going to be, like, supposed to be a huge universe instigating film. The first film of James Gunn's DCU that is supposed to be modeled after the MCU, really.
But the thing is with the DCU is that they're trying not to say it's going to be an expanding universe thing. The impression I get is that James Gunn doesn't want to explain it like that. He's like, yes, we are building a universe. They're all cohesive, but all the stories do not match up in some big diagram that lead to the big bad. That's not the point of this expanded universe. The whole point of the DCU is that, yes, it all takes place in one universe, but not everything has to connect. All the stories can be different. All the directors can be different. The visions can be different. Whereas Marvel, it gets scared. Like, even though Fantastic Four First Steps looks like a very different MCU film and doesn't look like, what has come before, it still has that Marvel feel. It has that Marvel. It has that Marvel feel. I don't know why I just fucking did that. Anyway, let's listen to her. She's way more better than me.
That's what it is. And this is a reset in and of itself within the MCU, where it takes place in some kind of alternate universe that will at some point converge with, like, the MCU storyline that we know. Yeah. But because the Fantastic Four have existed...
I mean, that's the talk about Fantastic Four, is that, they're in a different universe, but they're going to come to ours. That's the talk for Fantastic Four. Superman is more like, yo, Nicholas Hoult is bold. Like, it's that. Oh, and there's a dog that can fly and everything. Like, the dog is going to be the selling point. Let's be honest.
In the cultural zeitgeist outside of and before the MCU, I wonder if this has the ability to pull in mainstream audiences that have kind of given up on the MCU. Similarly, Superman is an iconic character that should, in theory, like, pull an audience all on his own. Like, even before the creation of the MCU, if these were movies that were coming out in the early 2000s, they should, by all accounts, be some of the biggest blockbusters of the summer, if not the year. But I
think it's all about the kids. Think of the children. Someone think of the children. I think it's all about the kids. I think it's the kids that instigate going, Mummy, Daddy, I want to go see Superman. Mummy, Daddy, I want to go see Fantastic Four First Steps. Marvel Studios. Directed by. No, I think it's I think it's the kids. That is the big decision. But also, it's really expensive, the cinema. Taking a family to the cinema is awful. As in, your bank account goes from there to there. Like, it's so quick how poor you get going to the cinema with your family. I'm lucky because I don't have kids. My cats aren't technically allowed in cinemas. But I argued with the guy. We go to see cats. But yeah, that was such a bad joke. I'm never doing that again. But what was my point I was trying to make? But I think it's the kids. I think the kids are the big, the companies are going, please ask your parents to take you to Superman. Marvel's like, please ask them to see Fantastic Four. If I had kids and they were like, Daddy, I want to go see Fantastic Four First Steps, I'd be like, babe, we got Fantastic Four at home. And, be that good old 2005. That shit hits like crack. But yeah, it's the kids. Like, that first week, holy crap. And then there's us fat nerds out there that are like, we better be good.
just don't think that audiences are that easy to predict anymore. I think that consumer habits have changed so drastically since the introduction of streaming that it is nearly impossible to predict.
My dad is in his late 50s, and I think he's in his late 50s anyway. Sorry, Dad, if you had that. But he sees no reason to go to the cinema to watch a film anymore. He's like, there is no reason why I need to go. I don't have to worry about people interrupting, talking on their phones. I don't have to hear their snacks. I don't have to pay for expensive snacks. I don't have to listen to my wife asking 20 million questions about the film. But the films he will go for is Star Wars and possibly Jurassic Park. That's the two. That's the two. He won't go to a superhero film. He won't. He's not been to a superhero film since, I'm going to say, Iron Man 2. I'm being serious. Like, that is the last time he went to see a superhero film. I'm going to ask him tomorrow, actually. I'll give him a call and be like, hey, Daddy, when was the last time? And he won't remember, and they'll fart and then hang up and everything. But, yeah.
What is going to be a cultural phenomenon outside of like huge IP vehicles like the Minecraft movie and the Mario Brothers movie? Like, how would a studio go about predicting the success of a movie like Sinners? They've tried to recreate the Barbenheimer phenomenon over and over and over again since it happened, and you can't make fetch happen. Like, it's gonna,
because Barbie and Oppenheimer are complete polar opposites. And that's what's really funny about it. And then it becomes a trend, and then people want to jump on the trend, and jumping on the trend makes you want to do the Barbenheimer experience, which I did with my wonderful wife, and it was exhausting, but oh my God, you felt like you were part of something bigger. I sound like Nick Fury, but that's what happened, for me. Even though I was going to see Oppenheimer, I was going to see Barbie, jumping on the trend is what I saw, and that's why people went to see those films, and they made so much money.
Happen on its own, or it's not. But consequently, I am like insatiably curious about how these movies are going to perform at the box office. And I know that a lot of people get really frustrated by the incessant box office talk, because we shouldn't be valuing movies based on like their ability to sell tickets exclusively.
Oh, absolutely.
But because it's so important to studios, it is unfortunately an important part of the conversation.
It's a reason why these films continue getting made as well. The biggest shock is obviously Thunderbolts came in very short, and Fantastic Four is still coming out. But obviously it's a different kettle of fish. It's a different team. It's not the same style. It's a different director. But it's still that MCU bloody feel. Whereas Superman feels sort of refreshing. And that's not me being like, ultimate DC fan, gun gooner. Like, it's nothing to do with that. Like, it is because Superman actually looks really, really good. Fantastic Four looks really good, but there's that Marvel tinge that I can literally hear it and see it. Whereas Superman, it feels really refreshing. I don't know what it is. It could be the cinematography, it could be the costume design, it could be the grade, it could be the editing, it could be the trailers, it could be the music, it could be any of that. But just Fantastic Four is it's not quite hitting. But in terms of box office, and I kind of want to get this out of the way, and we've spoken about this, I think Fantastic Four is going to do better than Superman. I've got a feeling that's not gonna be I think Fantastic Four will do better, because it's harder to get people to come back for Superman, who has been recently rebooted. I'd rather be gun gooner than ever to be a Snyder too. So I was a big Zack Snyder fan when Man of Steel came out. I was like, do you know what? This guy gets Superman, having never read a Superman comic. I was like, this guy, he knows what to do. And I do like Man of Steel. I do think it's one of the best comic book movies out there, because it's so different, and it's so Snyder, and it's so this, and it's so alien as well. Like, it really, taps into the alien mythology of the DC universe and everything. And there's just something really interesting about that. But yeah, but this Superman film, it just feels cool. But I do think Fantastic Four is going to make more money. I do, because the MCU's been around for a while, and DC, they're trying to get back on the horse. And this movie looks great, but there are Marvel. I think there are more Marvel fans out there than there are DC fans. and that's talking of general audiences as well. I do.
Because if a movie can't sell tickets, then that kind of movie simply is going to stop being made.
Yeah.
So this is incredibly fascinating to me.
Eternals is the perfect example. I still remember Kevin Feige on the red carpet, or a red carpet before Eternals came out, saying, you know, if we're going to get a Best Picture nomination or Best Director, it's for Eternals Closeout. I was like, whoa. I was like, this film, I was like, Marvel's changing the gear, man. They're going something. And it was boring. Eternals was boring. I'm sorry. It was boring. And I didn't care about anybody in it. Yeah, maybe Icarus. I thought Icarus was interesting. And the main girl in it. Oh, God. See, this is what I mean. But that's what I mean. It didn't catch on because it was about 12 bloody Eternals, and I'm like, why is Barry Keoghan in this? But yeah, there's I could have stopped there because I just keep getting myself in trouble. But Eternals is a perfect example of that. It made not a lot of money. It wasn't great reception. I don't think Eternals made that much money anyway. Let's see what Eternals box office is worldwide. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about worldwide. So it grossed 402 million worldwide, making it one of the lowest grossing films in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The movie opened to 161.7 million globally. So, you know, good start, like, you know, including 71 million in North America and 90.7 million internationally. It faced a 49% drop in international markets in its second weekend because all the nerds, all the fans had gone to see it, and then no one's gone to see it because of word of mouth and everything. That's insane. That is insane. Anyway, carrying on this video.
Have no idea what to expect from like audience reaction, and I also am so curious what it would mean, what it could predict if these movies do fail or don't perform the way that studios want them to at the box office. I would love a temperature check because I genuinely feel so out of touch on this. Like, let me know in the comments, are you excited about these movies? Which one has you more excited? Is the connection to the MCU a pro or a con at this point? Please let me know how you're feeling because I have no idea, and I'm...
Yeah, you know what? I get her. I completely get this woman. I just... Jay Stews, by the way, go follow her. She's got some really great videos and sort of insights and theories and everything. Really great videos.
So...
There you go. I just went to, you know, a different frame. The MCU went woke. That's why people are done watching their movies and shows. Now they just made bad movies. That's so true. Like, people think, like, when a film fails or a TV show fails, it's like, oh, because they put a black person in it. Oh, it's because this person's non-binary. It's none of that. It's none of that. It's because the story's boring as fuck. Like, the superhero genre needs to literally go away for like a decade. Never going to happen, let's be honest. It's taken up such a aneurysm. It's taken up such a massive amount of space. I can't believe people aren't even more fatigued by it than they are. I mean, someone like me is never going to be fatigued by it because it's literally, you know, I live and breathe it, guys. Yeah, Disney Plus killed the MCU. Oh my god, my brain just went. Like, yeah, that's so true. Like, Disney Plus killed the Marvel Universe. And it killed Star Wars. Like, the excitement for Star Wars is gone. Like, you'd have to wait every 10 bloody years for a new Star Wars project to crop up. And it only happened, like, 3 times. But still, it's that excitement, that build. Like, God, I haven't had a Star Wars in a while. And then it comes and I'm like, whoa, like, here we go. Yeah, do you know what? Yeah, so streaming, the people that own these properties, these franchises, have kind of killed the excitement for stuff, definitely. Lots have already said it, but the MCU used to have lots of layers that, while connected to each other, were not like that difficult to follow. That's very true, actually. And also, like, when the first phase 1 was coming out, again, I'm gonna sound like, you know, my day on the internet, on the Reddit sites. No, but like, everyone could simply follow, who's this Thanos guy? You know, who's this oh, there's mention of him there. It was so simple, just simply woven in. and you know, you'd stay for the post credits and that. And then, you know, you finally come to Avengers Endgame and it's like, God, it's all come to this. And then the next thing you get is WandaVision, which is brilliant, but you also felt like you closed that chapter of the MCU. And I think Marvel, apart from Loki, apart from WandaVision, I think everything else after that could have just, I don't know. It's a weird one, Marvel, because I love it. I love Moon Knight. I love Miss Marvel. Obviously, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I'm looking at my action figures for reference. Definitely not Love and Thunder. But yeah, there's something went wrong. And Marvel really needs to change up their game. Whereas DC just keeps going, hey, why don't we do a reboot, guys? Do you know what? Let's do a standalone Joker film that's nothing to do with Jared Leto. There's a lot of that going on DC-wise, but I think James Gunn wants to move away from that, apart from the Batman and a few DCU Elseworlds projects and that. But, you know, clearly stating that, not going, we're shifting, just going, that was always the intention. It's a weird one. It's really weird this time, and July is just, I can't wait to see where we are in July. I'd love to see my own reaction to these films, the public's reaction to these films, and your reaction to these films. So if you enjoyed my reaction video here, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and thank you for watching another That's Just Joe video. That was a lot of fun. Take care. Bye.